Okay, can you turn it on? Okay, now. Off.
He's not even looking.
Steve, off your game.
Very good game.
All right, hello and welcome back to our YouTube channel, 20 Years and Counting. And we have a guest for just a little while. This is our oldest daughter, Janelle. Say hello, Janelle. Say hello. Well, I guess that's her way of saying hello. So today's topic will be about trust. But before we start, we're going to have like a little icebreaker, which we will probably have before we get started. And she's going to assist us with this icebreaker game, which is why she's here. And goodness gracious. And we got Prince again. He's calm today. No matter how many times you tell somebody something, either they're not listening or their memory is horrible. But at the age of 24, I'm going to chop it up to not listening. So, read the question, we answer it.
All of them?
Janelle? Yes. Okay. All right, go.
Who initiated the first kiss?
You did? Yeah, I take that one.
So how about you point to yourself?
He just said he'll take that one.
So you just okay, go ahead.
Who apologizes first after a fight? Who was the funny one? Who was more romantic? Who was more patient?
No, you're not. Quit lying. No, you're not.
Not for stuff like gifts and everything else, but for everything else, I'm the most patient.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Okay.
No, you're not. You're lying.
Who was the better cook?
No, you're not. What, spaghetti?
No, I do know how to cook.
So how you gonna say you're a better cook?
Can you make gravy?
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
From a pack.
No, I can't. No. Oh, you tried it. I can make gravy now.
When?
When I want to.
No.
Janelle,
I'm a better cook. She cooks more.
Haven't I made gravy? Just because so you trying to say I cook more and it don't be good?
Whenever you like cook chicken, I'm like, because you
What?
just
You know,
your thing is cook fast, get it done.
Because I don't really want to cook.
Exactly.
I've been cooking for 27 years. Who wants to cook?
I don't do that when I cook. I want my stuff to taste a certain way, so
Then that's why you go in there and cook now. But that don't make you a better cook.
it does.
No, it does not.
We're talking about taste, not
Well, not with
quantity.
me.
Well, I go in there now and cook other stuff.
Oh. You the only one.
You don't know how it tastes because you haven't tried it and it's good.
I'm not trying it.
My mama think it's good.
Your mom
Just because it's
is
vegan don't mean that it's nasty.
Yes, it does.
No, it don't. Ask the boys.
They don't have a choice.
Jay, no, you wouldn't know if you tried it. Okay.
Who said I love you first?
I guess I honestly don't remember.
Who takes longer to get ready in the morning?
Me.
Who was grumpy in the morning? Who's more stubborn? Who was the bigger baby when sick?
See, she even agrees. She agrees that it's you.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No.
Right, you be having, you like on to get a couch, you get a whole blanket over your head and you be like,
Exactly, but I don't bother nobody. I don't want to be bothered. She turns into the bigger baby. She wants to be right up under you.
That's not a baby. That's just one to be.
But no. You want to be up under somebody, but you the sick one. It's almost like you want to get people sick with you, like, I feel so bad.
My mama let me lay under her.
I'm not your mama. I have the ability to tell you, move, get away. I'm not trying to get sick. I love you.
You the bigger baby though. It's already 2-1.
I'm not a baby. I just don't want to be bothered.
You a baby. Oh, a grumpy baby.
Leave me alone. Let me get better.
You be in the room
By myself.
But that's not your room by yourself though.
When I'm sick, it
Me
is.
and Prince live there too.
Who is the social butterfly?
Hi! Look like Forrest Gump.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
But you are the complete opposite.
There's no matter what telling people what to do.
No. Since you want to be hi, tell everybody.
What?
Since you want to hi, go ahead. Tell the people.
Tell them what?
How do they respond? How do they respond to you? Because you know how they respond to my hi. They say hi back. How they respond?
I say hi.
No. That's not what I asked. I asked since you said hi. How they respond to you? Could you be more open?
No, because we're the same way with her, so it don't matter.
He's not
So-
actually
so-
talking about me though. So,
so
don't
how-
put me in there.
but you over here.
So how do they respond to your brand of?
They speak back when I say hi. They think that I'm mean.
So that hi, that was just a bit of jealousy.
I'm not jealous of you. What did I be jealous of you for?
Because people respond.
People shouldn't judge a book by its cover.
That's something that people say when they don't get the response they want.
Listen,
I give people a cover, a good one. Alright, even if I'm not like that, because I really don't want to be bothered all the time. But
yeah, maybe I don't want to be bothered all the time. My face is just like that. It's been like that since I was a kid. I don't need to change my face. Right? I shouldn't have to. Okay, moving on. Go ahead.
Who is the messy one?
What? I'm not messy.
You're messy? For a man?
No, wait, it's messy in the room, Jane.
Oh, I thought you meant messy.
Oh, you're scandalous, Danielle.
Oh, never mind. I thought you meant messy.
No, Janelle, you truly are Gen Z.
Oh my gosh. Who spends the most money? Did you just buy a purse?
you spend the most money.
What's buying a purse got to do with anything?
I'll let you spend the most money.
Because I'm the one who spends the money on the bills.
That's money. It didn't say who spends the most money on what. It said who spends the most money.
You're not
You.
supposed to tell the people that I bought a purse.
I didn't say it out loud. You did.
That you can still hear that.
I whispered. You're like, what that got to do with it? Like, you was the
She
one that said
doesn't.
it.
She doesn't know how to whisper. She doesn't. I found that out early.
Yeah, I don't know how to whisper either.
I just whispered it. And yes, I do.
I tried to whisper something to her, and she on the back hella loud. I'm like, what is that about the? I'm whispering, so you whisper back. Oh. Oh. You blew it down. I ain't listening to you, dumb boy. I'll tell you later what I was trying to tell you in there.
He's the messy one. His room is a mess. He spends a lot of money, but I spend the most. No. We want to thank Janelle for all that she's done. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You stand?
Well, what's another one?
Trust.
No.
She could have said bye, but she didn't.
Ah!
What boat we're going? All right. That was interesting.
And just let everybody know, I am not in a good mood.
No, he's not. So we just finished. Well, he just finished watching the Niners game. I tried to turn it off when it was 13 minutes left or 14 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Stop.
But he didn't let me because
Stop.
he was not happy.
Stop. Time out. I didn't just finish watching the Niner game. I just finished watching the NFC Championship game that would have sent us to the Super Bowl that we lost because refs and poor play and all that. Everything that could have happened wrong happened wrong. I'm just not. I'm not a happy camper. It was one of those games that you hope because it's low scoring, but I have a lot more to say. But yeah, it's going to dominate the conversation, so I'm going to. But I had to let everybody know if I seem a little. It's because it wasn't the Niner game. It was the NFC Championship game. One game away from the Super Bowl.
So he's not doing too well.
No.
So
No.
But because we had this day marked out to record, we're moving forward.
Yeah.
So we are, as I stated, we are talking about trust. Trust in a marriage, which actually starts before the marriage. And to elaborate a little bit on why it starts before the marriage is because oftentimes people bring their trust issues and insecurities from past relationships, whatever those relationships may be. It can be your relationship with your parents, be past relationships with your ex-boyfriends, girlfriends, ex-spouses, into new marriages.
Any trauma.
Yeah, and you bring them into the new marriage, which is a recipe for disaster. And I know that because I had trust issues in the beginning of our marriage. Mine stemmed from daddy issues. Yeah. And mine caused separation anxiety. Yeah.
And don't
And what?
don't leave out the stubborn part.
What's stubborn part?
She also doesn't like to be told what to do.
Who likes to be told what to do?
So, difference between her and I don't like to be told to do something. I can't stand that. Like if you're telling me to do this, I don't want to do it. I'm gonna fight you every time. But if you tell me something that's like good information, I'll be like, okay, not her.
What? You talking about then or you talking about
Even sometimes now. You don't.
I'm better.
You're okay. I'll give you that. I'll give. She's better.
So let's go back to the big. So I swear I am. Let's go back to the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So in the beginning, I had my reasons to not trust you. Let's say year 1 through 5-ish. I had every reason not to trust you.
I'm very secretive. I don't say a lot.
And that's a recipe. Being secretive is a recipe for disaster. So,
Well, not always secretive, but I do.
always secretive.
But I do keep things close to the chest.
But he was also very secretive, and it makes you think that he's doing something he has no business doing. So, and for a person with trust issues, especially trust people like me, or a person like I was, if I ask you questions and you want to act like you want to keep secrets, then I'm gonna go digging and I'm gonna go looking. I'm gonna figure it out. It all depends on how much I'm gonna dig or how much I'm gonna go looking. Now I'm gonna say this: that's who I was, not who I am. Back then, when we got married, he was working part time when we got married, and I'm at a grocery store in the pharmacy department, and he would always say stuff about some of his coworkers, and some of the things he was saying was kind of a red flag, and I'm like, and he would talk about his coworker, and I'm like, that don't sound right, and I'm like, I think that bra like you, and he was like, no, it's cool. I said, either you clueless or you lying to me about some stuff. And so when she called his cell phone and I answered the phone, and when I questioned her, she talked to me like I was a side chick, and so I had to say some stuff to her. And I remember he said he went back to work, and she was scared to even talk to him. So that was already number one, I was right. Number two, I was right. So that goes to show right there that I knew something. I was right. But I mean, I could have been wrong, but I was right in that situation. However, when you have issues of trust, it can also cloud your judgment, because as we went on throughout the years, I would still have issues of trust when I didn't need to, and it started to put a strain on the marriage. And then it also was exhausting, very exhausting, always wondering, okay, I know it takes this amount of time for him to come home from work, or when he was in school. I always knew the schedule of school. Why you at home? Well, I'm at the library. Well, why you can't study at home? Well, because I'm not focused enough at home. There's too many distractions. Well, I can study at home. Why you can't study at home? Those type of things. Those things will destroy a marriage. You're not the same person.
Plus, she's super duper nosy. Like, where you at?
I am nosy. Oh well.
Like, she called, what was it, Thursday? Why isn't my husband home? Because he's in traffic.
But you said, I'll be home about 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
I waited to 6 to say why my husband not home.
But I was waiting. You had
I
talked
waited
to
to
me,
6.
But you had talked to me throughout the day, and you knew where I was.
It was earlier. You said it was much earlier. You said I'm waiting on the client, but that was a whole lot earlier.
Yeah,
but I waited 3 hours to say why my husband not home, because he said he'd be home 2 or 3. I waited till 6 o'clock to say why my husband not home.
No, the last time we talked, it was 4.
Okay, 2 hours later, whatever.
In Bay Area traffic.
Oh, I don't be thinking about that. I'll be at home, so why am I thinking about that?
So, just for people who don't know,
I have brain fog too most of the time, so who
that's
cares? I be
like
thinking
40
about that.
miles away. And we live in a region of California that is known to have like way bad traffic.
But I don't have trust issue now, so that's not even.
No, I just tell her where I was, and then at the same time, I was trying to get something to eat where I couldn't get something to eat, which meant I had to get off the freeway to go get something to eat, which also delayed my trip, and I had to get back on the freeway to get home. By that time, so, because we're at a schedule now where where we've been together for so long, you kind of know what the other one is or is not doing just by their actions throughout the day. So I called and asked what's she cooking.
You should have known the answer to that one.
And of course she said nope.
Nope.
And so I was like, okay. And I was right to have tried to go get something to eat anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that part I guess. So, I mean, so with the issues of trust, it's best to deal with that stuff. If you have trust issues that are not for your spouse or the person you're getting ready to marry, or if they're even for the person that you're getting ready to marry, deal with them before you say I do. That is the best thing to do. My issues, they were not because of him. Slap you, swear. Slap you. They were not because of him. I can't think straight. They were because of I had some serious issues that was stemming because of my father, and because of the in and out throughout my life, and I had not dealt with them the way that I needed to deal with it. But I also didn't realize that I hadn't dealt with it or that I needed to deal with it until I got older, a little bit older. And then I didn't realize also that I had some issues with separation anxiety until we started having a lot of arguments. And have been best friends before we even got together. So when we married, we were best friends getting married. And then, and I even told you this when I think when I finally shared with you, we were living in Benicia. The first place we lived in Benicia, we were standing on the balcony. We had this really big argument, and I think you just wanted to go for a ride, and I freaked out. And I think by then, we were at like year 10 by then, or something. And I just freaked out because you just wanted to go for a ride just to get away, just to clear your head for a minute. But I didn't want you to leave because in my mind was, because the argument was so bad, you were gonna leave. You were leaving me.
Needed some time.
Yeah, that you were gonna leave me. But that had nothing really to do with, the reason why I was like that had nothing to do with you. It had to do with my issues with my father, because every time I saw him and he would leave, he would say he's coming back. When he would leave, I wouldn't see him for several years. So that is where my separation anxiety came. So when we had the arguments, for some reason, I always thought that if you left the house, you wouldn't come back.
Yeah, it also took a while for me to understand how she was, and for her to understand, where things were. Because I remember you were talking, and this was around that same time. You were saying that. So my wife wanted to do like everything with me, and then say we didn't spend any time together. Like, I mean, everything. You go in the store, hold on, I'm coming. Or I have to go here, can you come here with me? Or let's go to the mall and let's go run and let's go do 6 and 7 of my errands. And then, we don't spend any time together. We don't go out. And I was like, huh?
Because to me that meant we were running errands and stuff. That wasn't time.
But
time meant we planned, go have dinner. That's what that meant to me, because that was different. You gotta remember, the only time what I saw for married couples was when my mom and my stepdad was married for that period of time. And when there was time spent, He took us to restaurants. We went out. It wasn't sitting and watching TV. It wasn't running errands. That wasn't time spent. Time spent was we went and sat and had dinner together at a restaurant. That was what that was.
Now, see, for me, it was a little different because we did those things, but also it was
Three little feet. I mean, 3 sets of feet.
no. It was
Following
also
behind us too.
it was also nights where everybody would be in the back watching TV.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
did now. Also, I'm dating myself. This is back in the Blockbuster days.
Oh yeah.
Where you go get a movie and
Yeah.
it'd be either a family friendly movie that everybody could watch until my sister went to bed, who was gonna fall asleep during the first one anyway, and then me and my dad would be up. So that stuff I was used to doing. She wasn't. So that stuff started happening more, and then when it became normal, she started to notice more that the time that we spent together as a family didn't and wouldn't negate the time that we spent together as a couple, but it could somehow be incorporated.
Yeah. But also,
Because I'm more comfortable here than I am anywhere else.
I also read there was a lot of what started changing me also was I read that book, The Power of a Praying Wife, and I read The Power of a Praying Woman. But The Power of a Praying Wife by Stormy O'Martian, that was a really powerful book for me at the time. The kids were really young. It was around the time, I think the boys were maybe about 4 or 5, somewhere around there. They were all 3 were under the age of 8. I know that. And I when I read that book, because I was just, and this was clearly before I had really worked on my trust issues, but when it comes to certain things, I was trying to just deal with myself too, but also be praying for you. And because I'm not gonna lie, there were times where I was always thinking it was you. I'm fine, it's just him. But then I had to realize that when I read that book, that there were things that I need to work on within myself too. Or the things that God opened up my eyes, that it's not always that person. Now, mind you, my mom and my stepdad divorced they separated when I was like right at the end of my 6th grade year, then they divorced. My grandparents, which was a marriage that I saw until my grandma died when I was 16. Outside of those 2 marriages, I saw one other marriage, but outside of those 2 marriages, that's all I have to reference. That's it. And so I'm pretty much doing this thing blind because, to be quite honest with you, even though I was around my grandparents all the time, I really, truly wasn't paying attention to their marriage. So I don't know how things are supposed to be in a marriage. I really don't. So, and then as far as trust is concerned, when you're pretty much raised by a single mother and you have these issues with your father not being there, and then your stepfather, who said he's going to be there, not leaving you, and he leaves, you have some serious trust issues when it comes to men. So the only constant I had was my grandpa. And trying to make somebody live up to what he did wasn't fair. You already knew that, because me trying to get you to do stuff that he was doing was just, I already just checked that off my box, because I tried that and it just didn't work. So I had to really seek God for help in a lot of the areas in regards to trust. And I had to realize that I had to learn and depend and trust God more, because I also had areas of trusting with him too. in which when I learned to trust and depend on God more, it made me trust you more too.
And so also, thing you have to remember is that, and I always say this, and this is, and you have to figure out a way to say this, and this is something that I really believe in. Don't be afraid to tell her you don't know what she's thinking, because she'll get mad at you for thinking you should be thinking one way and you're not. You have to, those things have to be, you have to learn to communicate. I had to let her know I'm not always thinking that way. I don't always know what you're thinking, or I don't always know this is what you were thinking in said situation, because you're two different people. So you have to have those conversations, and those are not the easiest conversations to have. And usually those conversations end up happening in the heat of an argument. But, I'm saying this, that before it gets to an argument, especially if you find yourself having trouble communicating, as far as one person is thinking this and the other person is thinking that, and so the actions, say what you were really thinking, and you guys end up on different pages. You have to say, I don't always know what you're thinking, and that way you begin to understand more about the other person, because a lot of stuff in marriages is, since I understand the person, that influences my actions. She knows what I like, so it would be very smart for her to get something that I totally dislike. Same in regards to her, I know what she likes, so why would I get something that she totally dislikes? But
except for them leggings. I'm sorry, I had to say it.
She said that, but she wore them out.
I don't care, because why would I not wear them? But don't ever buy me leggings for a gift ever in your life.
So here's how I am with it. So let me tell you what she's talking about. All right, she's talking about is.
That's why I just thought about that.
She's not an easy person to shop for. She's not. I'm easy. Real easy to shop for. Push come to shove, give me some money and get out of my way.
That's not easy to shop for. That's giving money.
That's easy to shop for, and you've never really had a problem shopping for it.
Giving somebody money is not shopping for them.
No. When you have decided to buy me a gift, other than them ugly shoes you bought me that time that I tried to make work and they didn't, have I ever been a hard person to shop for? Exactly.
Well, I didn't say nothing. I just didn't say nothing.
With her, being that she is a woman, sometimes when I approach her about, your birthday's coming up, what do you want? Depending on how she feels that day or how she's been, I don't want nothing. So when she does that, then I start to think, okay, what have I gotten her? And I don't want to get something repeated or whatnot. So she was real, I don't want that. And she had this attitude about it. So I said, you know what? Fine. I'm going to get you something that I know you'll use. And I know you'll wear. Or I know that if I spend my money on, it'll go to good use. Now, these leggings, first off, they weren't cheap. They were about $100 a pair. Yeah, they were. You got 2 pair of them. They were $100
for 2 pair of leggings.
No, I paid $180 for 2 pair.
That was
so she got
number one.
So she got 2 pair of leggings. Now, when she got them, because when I told her I was going to get her something, her whole attitude didn't change. It was almost like, I told you to get it, right? So I'm thinking, maybe she ain't going to use it at all. But she gets the leggings, and the first thing she says is, this ain't a gift that you get nobody. I'm like, thinking to myself, you didn't give me no pointers of which way to go, so I went with something. Now, at this time, she was always wearing leggings.
It was COVID.
And the leggings that she had, I was getting tired of seeing. So
I was in the house all the time.
I figured these leggings would do two things. Number one, they would look nice, and number two, they would be tight and accentuate her booty, which is what I want them to do, which is what they did. Now, when she got the leggings, she had her perpetual frown, never her, right? But I started to look up, and the leggings that I was talking about went in the trash.
And they had a hole in them.
And the ones that I bought were being worn a lot until she wore those out. But then I was like, well, do you want me to get you some more? Was quick to say, no, I don't want you to give me no more, but wore them out. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm not really now thinking about what this is saying, because this is saying one thing that you didn't like to give, but your actions are saying you wore it. So that was $180.
But you don't buy nobody no leggings for their birthday. I'm sorry, you just don't. But anyway, moving on. I don't trust him to buy me certain things for my birthday without my approval. Trust. That's what I don't trust him with. But however, I trust in a lot of other areas. I do.
And every other gift I've gotten her over the course of our marriage, she has, I will say, with the gifts,
I don't like them boots.
it has been about half of them.
That's
No. You probably taken one or two things back.
No, I took more of that back.
But she's always like frowned up at something. Even the stuff that she's really liked and needed and used, she's frowned up at when she first got it. She frowned up at the iPod.
Oh, you really went back.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
She initially frowned up at the Fitbit.
I ain't frowned up at the Fitbit. I asked for a Fitbit.
No, you didn't. I told you I was getting a Fitbit.
I wanted a Fitbit.
No, I told you I was getting you.
I asked you for a Fitbit.
She initially frowned up at the Fitbit. She frowned up at. She took the boots back.
Yeah, they were ugly.
She took the Coach purse back.
It was too small.
Cause she needs she doesn't need a tote. Even though when every time we go somewhere and she needs a smaller purse, she can't seem to find one. And I happened to get her one. And here was the cool thing about it: the boots weren't ugly. They were matched. No, they didn't. They matched.
They were ugly.
They look better than them Uggs you be wearing.
Ain't nothing wrong with my Uggs.
Yeah.
They ain't leaning or nothing. Ain't nothing wrong with my Uggs.
Yeah,
They're not leaning. No, they're not. I don't wear them enough for them to lean. So ain't nothing wrong with my Uggs.
And them Uggs, you look like somebody from The Empire Strikes Back. And them Uggs, you know, when they were on the ice planet. Yes. So sometimes they'll be like, no. And I figured.
And I had 2 pair of Uggs.
I figured it rained, and I got her some boots. Now
they were ugly.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
No, they weren't. Because I saw. Now anyway. Other than that, most of the gifts I've got her, but she's needed them, liked them, and used them.
I like the rings.
Now, going back to the trust thing, right? I said I'm gonna pick out the ring.
It was an upgrade for our anniversary 2 years ago.
Told her I didn't want any help.
But I tried to. I sent him pictures of what I liked.
Didn't need any help.
I even had the boys try to send him pictures.
So I go get it. Now, I something about me. I have good taste, and I can also kind of see things in my head once I have the pieces together. I can say, you put this piece with that piece, it looks nice. And so where I went someplace where I could buy and get the ring assembled, which would cost me less money, but I'd be able to get more for my money. So went, and it was a couple steps in the process where I had to go pick it out, pay for it, get it sized and that stuff. And I couldn't get it sized exactly because she wasn't there, but she was so impatient and she's the more patient one, right? She was so impatient. Is it ready yet? Why aren't they ready? I said they're putting your ring together. It should be ready. It shouldn't take this long to put. You need to call them because maybe I'm like, they told me they would call. She got so on the day I was about to call, they finally said, okay, you can come. So what I was going to do.
It was Valentine's Day.
So this is what I was going to do. I just wanted to see what she would say, even though I knew she would say no. I said, do you want me to take one of your rings and then I can take it and then they can size it when you get the ring? And no. I want to go down there. I want to make sure. She didn't want to go and make sure that the ring was sized right. She wanted to go see what I picked out. You could see he does have good taste. Oh my God. But couldn't wait. But she's the more patient one. But
that was only in that instant. That was just only in that.
She's not the easiest person to shop for. So every time after my birthday comes, it's a barrage of different things that.
Birthday and Mother's Day, because they both are together.
My birthday comes, and then right after my birthday comes, Valentine's Day comes. And I have to get her something, but she doesn't want anything.
I don't believe in Valentine's Day like that.
But she'll happily accept whatever I get her.
Well, why not? I mean, you have to be nice. But I don't want anything for Valentine's Day because it's
But see, it'd be wrong for me not to, and then Mother's Day and her birthday, which usually fall within a day of each other. And so,
it depends.
When I combine the gifts,
you're not supposed to do that.
You can.
No, it's not. It's 2 different days. My birthday, I was born first, and then I became a mother next. 2 different days. Don't go there.
When I do that, I make it something.
Nope, you're not
big,
supposed to do that.
And
nope, I don't care how big it is.
She can play, but she takes it.
I don't have a choice. You didn't buy 2 gifts.
No, I'm making one big gift. I take the monies from both and put them
Don't
together.
do that. Don't ever do that. You don't ever do. Ever do that.
But she's a cheap one.
Don't ever do that. You don't ever do that to anybody. Their birthday and Mother's Day, or Father, you don't do that. Birthday and Father's Day, they're 2 different days. They don't ever do that. Okay, now, going back, we went somewhere else. Going back. So, as far as trust, yes, we trust God enough to know that we want to trust our spouses. However, we still got to deal with our own insecurities. We have no choice, because not dealing with your own insecurities and your trust issues and your own trauma and your own whatever will damage and destroy your relationship. It just will.
And talk about that with the other person, because like I said, they don't know.
Yeah.
And that's something that people keep closer to. It took me 10 years before I would admit that something scared me, because it's not something that I like to admit. So the stuff that's in your past that could possibly cause trust issues, the one person doesn't know about it. until you let them know that it's because it's this way because, and it'll kind of show you where you are with the person.
Yeah, and then also, we've had issues, not of physical infidelity, but just other stuff. And when I made the decision to forgive, I didn't trust. But I realized not trusting was still hurting the relationship. So I actively worked on trusting because I wanted my marriage to work. If I loved enough to forgive, number one, as a Christian, we are to forgive and forgive immediately. And it took me a minute to forgive like I needed to. I'm still human. But when we forgive and we forgive immediately, we forgive, and when you make the decision to forgive and stay with your spouse or move forward with your spouse, whatever you choose to do, whether it's on the part of the husband or on the part of the wife, and you make the decision to stay in the marriage, then you are saying that I'm actively working to trust again. Do not make your spouse suffer for months and years with you not trusting them. Work on it. Whether it be get counseling, you guys talk about it, whatever you need to do it and work on it, because you are destroying your marriage by not doing it. Not only that, if you have children in your house, whether you think that they don't hear you or not, they pick up on every emotion that's going on.
In other words, don't make one person pay for the other person's mistakes.
Yeah, it's detrimental to your it's detrimental. Yeah, you don't make your new spouse pay for the old person's mistake, but also if the spouse that you're in a relationship with messed up and you're choosing to forgive and stay in it, work on fixing it.
We're almost done.
We're done. Yeah, we're about to, that's why you can't tell when I'm wrapping it up. You should be able to tell by now. Anyway, after 20-something years of knowing each other, me and Mary being together, 20 years of marriage, 20-something years of being together, 30-something years of knowing each other, he still can't tell. But anyway, okay. So that's kind of where we are with that. Just, trust is a big thing. Next topic will be communication, because that is the key to every relationship. It's interesting that we started with trust and not communication, but we will talk about communication next. So, and we'll have some type of icebreaker. Not sure if it'll be a different adult child of ours or the same one. But Prince didn't show out today. He was a little tired. And we want to say to those who watch that are 49er fans, I am so sorry about the team. And I'm so sorry about what happened to Purdy. I like Purdy. That poor baby. Because he truly is a baby. He young enough to be my baby. So with that being said, everyone enjoy the rest of your day whenever you may watch this. If you have any comments, please place your comments in the box and we will answer. Please don't forget to like, share, and most importantly, please subscribe. Thank you all. And until next time, bye. Can you just stop on that?
Bye-bye.